Every year, Costco sells over 245 million hot dog and soda combos, $1.50 each. Same price since 1985. 4 decades. No adjustment for inflation, no asterisk, just $1.50. Their rotisserie chickens ring up at $4.99. Costco moves about 157 million of those birds a year and is willing to lose roughly $30 to $40 million in gross margin to keep that price frozen. And yet, Costco posted more than $8 billion in net income on $269.9 billion of net sales last year. How does a company that deliberately loses money on its most popular products end up printing billions in profit? The answer is one of the most elegant business models ever designed. And once you see how it works, you'll never look at that membership card the same way again. This is money mechanics. And today, how Costco makes money by losing money. To understand Costco, you have to go back before Costco existed, to a converted airplane hangar in San Diego. The year is 1976. A man named Saul Price had an idea that most retailers thought was insane. What if you stripped a store down to the bare minimum? No fancy displays, no sales associates, no 10 different brands of ketchup, just pallets of goods, sold in bulk, at prices so low they barely covered costs. He called it Price Club. And here was the catch. You had to pay a membership fee just to walk through the door. The retail industry thought he'd lost his mind. Why would customers pay money to enter a store? But Saul Price understood something the rest of the industry didn't. If you charge people to shop, you change the entire relationship. You're no longer trying to extract profit from every transaction. You're trying to deliver so much value that people gladly pay to come back next year. 7 years later, in 1983, a former Price Club executive named Jim Sinegal took that philosophy to Seattle and founded Costco. In 1985, Costco went public at $10 a share, and what Sinegal built over the next 4 decades would become one of the most counterintuitive success stories in American business. Because Costco's entire strategy is built on a principle that violates everything they teach in business school. Most companies try to maximize their margins. Costco tries to minimize them. So what's the mechanic most people miss? When you walk into a Costco, every product on those warehouse shelves has a markup cap. Nothing gets marked up more than 14% above cost. For Kirkland's signature products, their private label, the cap is 15%. 14%. A traditional grocery store marks up 25 to 50%. A department store can charge 2 or 3 times what the product costs to make and ship. Costco does not want to make money selling you things. Their merchandising operation runs at or near break even. In fiscal 2025, Costco did $269.9 billion in net sales, a staggering figure, but the gross margins on those sales are razor thin by design. So where does the profit come from? The membership card in your wallet. In fiscal 2025, Costco collected $5.323 billion in membership fees, up from $4.83 billion the year before. They have about 81 million paid household and business members. And here's the number that makes the entire system work. Renewal runs above 90% worldwide and over 92% in the US and Canada. More than 9 out of 10 members year after year decide the value they get from Costco is worth paying an annual fee to access. That is not a store. That is a subscription, one of the stickiest subscriptions in American commerce. Now, how does all of this actually connect? How does losing money on chicken create billions in profit? Start with the rotisserie chicken, $4.99. You walk in for a chicken. It's at the back of the warehouse. That placement is not an accident. On your way, you pass a 75-inch television, a case of premium olive oil, a set of patio furniture you didn't know you needed. The chicken is a magnet. It pulls you through a carefully curated gauntlet of high-value goods. And because everything on those shelves is priced at or near cost, your brain starts doing math. If the chicken is this cheap, imagine what you're saving on everything else. The hot dog combo works the same way, $1.50. A hot dog and a drink. Jim Sinegal was so serious about that price that when then CEO in waiting Craig Jelinek once suggested they might need to raise it, Sinegal told him, quote, "If you raise the effing hot dog, I will kill you." That's not a joke. That's a philosophy. The hot dog is a signal to every customer, every visit. we are on your side. We are not trying to squeeze you. We are trying to give you more value than you paid for. The philosophy extends to every inch of the operation. Costco carries roughly 3,800 to 4,000 products at any given time. A typical U.S. supermarket carries 30,000 to 40,000. By stocking fewer items, Costco does several things simultaneously. They negotiate harder with suppliers because they're offering massive volume on fewer products. They simplify logistics. They reduce waste. They make the shopping experience faster. And they create a treasure hunt mentality. Inventory rotates, and if you see something you want, you grab it now or it's gone. Now, Kirkland's signature. This is where the model reveals its full power. Kirkland is Costco's private label brand. You've seen it on everything from vodka to toilet paper to olive oil. Here's what most people don't realize. Kirkland's signature now accounts for about 23% of Costco's total sales. 23% of $269.9 billion. That's roughly $62 billion in annual revenue. $62 billion. That makes Kirkland's signature the store brand bigger than Nike, which reported $46 billion in revenue. It is one of the largest consumer brands on earth. It doesn't have a single standalone store. It doesn't run a single ad campaign. It exists entirely within the walls of Costco. And because Costco controls the supply chain for many Kirkland products, they deliver premium quality at dramatically lower prices. That $450 million poultry plant in Nebraska, that's Costco saying, we will spend $500 million building our own facility before we let a supplier raise the price of our chicken. They will vertically integrate an entire supply chain to protect a price point. Here's the flywheel. And this is what makes Costco's model nearly impossible to replicate. Low prices attract members. Membership fees fund the operation. That funding allows Costco to keep prices low. Low prices keep members renewing. High renewal rates create predictable, recurring revenue. That predictable revenue gives Costco the confidence to invest in infrastructure, negotiate harder with suppliers, and absorb losses on products like rotisserie chickens and hot dogs. Those loss leaders drive foot traffic. Foot traffic drives sales volume. Volume gives them more negotiating power. More negotiating power lets them lower prices further. Lower prices attract more members. Every piece feeds every other piece. A self-reinforcing loop that gets stronger every year because every new member makes the entire system more efficient. This is why competitors can't copy it. You can't start with low prices and no membership base. You need members to fund the low prices. But you need low prices to attract the members. Costco spent 4 decades building this flywheel, with 81 million households locked in at a 90+% renewal rate. That's not a business strategy. That's an economic moat. So what does Costco actually teach us? The most powerful business model isn't the one that extracts the most from each customer. It's the one that delivers so much value that customers voluntarily pay just to participate. Costco doesn't trick you into spending money. They make the deal so obviously good, you'd feel foolish walking away. And then they charge you $65 a year for the privilege. In a world full of companies engineering shrinkflation, hiding fees in the fine print, and squeezing every last penny from their customers, Costco went the other direction. They said, what if we just made everything cheaper and let people pay us to walk in the door? 40+ years later, it's working better than ever. That is the invisible machine behind Costco, a company that loses millions on purpose. That caps its own profits. That builds $500 million factories to protect a $4.99 price tag, all because they understood something most businesses never will. If you take care of the customer, the money takes care of itself. That's the mechanic. If this changed how you think about business, hit subscribe. We break down the hidden systems behind money, finance, and the economy every week. No fluff, no filler, just mechanics. We'll see you in the next one.